It's mock draft season. I think all of us Vikings fans are eager to figure out who the Vikings might potentially draft in this year's draft. We have the 11th overall pick. Some are saying it's going to be a quarterback. There's rumors of maybe trading back in the draft, but I've also seen, the Vikings could be aggressive this draft, move up, take their guy that they actually want and stuff like that. So we're going to take a look at Mel Kiper's mock draft. He finally released it. It's just the round one. And the pick that he has the Vikings taking, or the guy that he has the Vikings taking, is an interesting one. I'm not sure if I'm fully on board with it. I don't mind the pick. But again, I'm going to reiterate the statement. Need a quarterback. That's who I think the Vikings need to draft. If you need to, you trade back up into that first round with your second pick or your fourth pick, whatever the case may be. Just find a way to get back in there and then take your defensive guy unless you think that you can get your guy defensively in that second round. But we're going to get right into it. Before we do so, make sure to subscribe to the channel. It'd be much appreciated. So, Mel Kiper had his first round mock draft come out, and he projects Clemson cornerback Nate Wiggins to the Vikings at number 11. On the selection, Kiper noted, "In my final mock ahead of the 2023 draft, I projected the Vikings taking a cornerback. Instead, they went with wide receiver Jordan Addison, who had a fantastic rookie season, catching 10 touchdown passes. That need in the secondary still exists. Minnesota ranked 28th in passing yards allowed to receivers last season, 3,019 yards. And 2022 second-rounder Andrew Booth Jr. hasn't quite figured things out. Okay, he had to battle some injuries, and he just hasn't looked good. Okay, he basically got put in when it was garbage time, right? Now, let's go back to Clemson, Booth's former school. With the selection of Nate Wiggins here, Wiggins was a lockdown defender in 2023, allowing just 4.2 yards per attempt as the nearest defender in coverage. Could the Vikings take a quarterback? For sure. Kirk Cousins is a free agent. I don't think rookie fifth-rounder Jaron Hall will be the guy long-term. Even that's myself included. I don't believe he's going to be the future of the Minnesota Vikings. Definitely an okay backup, but somebody you don't want to lead on when the game is coming down to crunch time. Now, at this point, though, the most likely option might be running it back with Kirk Cousins. So, adding a starter on defense makes much more sense. This obviously could change as we learn more about Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, the general manager of our Minnesota Vikings, when we learn more about his plans for the future. Now, again, he said right there the most likely option is going to be running it back with Kirk Cousins on a 2-year, 3-year deal. Hopefully it's only a 2-year deal, and we still draft a quarterback, and we mold that quarterback in the system so that he can learn under Cousins and have Cousins be that mentor to him. But if the Vikings do decide to take a cornerback and we do go with Nate Wiggins, I'd be okay with it, but at the same time, I don't know how I'd feel. Like, this is one of those drafts where I'm not going to be necessarily upset with the pick at number 11. Yeah, I know we need a quarterback, but you can maybe address that later on in the draft. I think some guys are going to slip to the second round. So if it's a defensive pick, I'll be okay. I'll be just happy. Like, I'll be happy, go lucky, basically. If we take a wide receiver, now's where you're going to start rubbing me the wrong way, because we have a decent wide receiver group in Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, KJ Osborne, who I believe is still on the team, who knows about his future and what could happen with him down the line. But if we do take Nate Wiggins, I took the liberty to go look at some of his highlights from last season. Now, he had 25 tackles for loss, 8 pass breakups, I do believe, and 2 interceptions. So pretty decent stats, especially playing for Clemson and what he was able to do. He's very aggressive when it comes to finding the ball or making a play on the ball. He's quick, very athletic. He can blitz the quarterback off the edge, which is something I think the Vikings defense has done a lot of. Okay, we're one of the highest, if not the highest, blitz-rated defense in the National Football League, and that's due to Brian Flores. And Brian Flores likes his players to be versatile, be able to do a bunch of different things, and rushing off the edge to get to the quarterback, I would say is one of those versatile components of a player, of Nate Wiggins. So I think he'd fit really nice here. And plus, yes, okay, secondary is not great for us. All right, who knows what's going to happen with Harrison Smith? So you're looking at Harrison Smith, Cam Bynum, Lewis Seen, and Josh Metellus at our safeties. But then you're looking at the cornerbacks going, oh boy, what's going to happen here? Yeah, we have Byron Murphy Jr. and Caleb Evans. Those are our 1 and our 2. But after that, you're looking at the rest of them, and you're going, boy, we need a little bit more help. And that's where Nate Wiggins could possibly come in. The only thing that worried me when I was watching this film is it seems as if when he gets to the NFL level, people are going to be able, or receivers are going to be able to get an extra step on him. Because a couple of the routes that I've seen these receivers run on Nate Wiggins during the highlights, and I know it's highlights, but again, you can nitpick the little things. It seemed as if the wide receivers were getting a little bit more separation on Wiggins, but the way Wiggins plays the ball and just goes after it, and he's very aggressive, helps him out tremendously, and I hope that translates to the NFL. But when you come to the big boy sport, okay, you're playing with the big boys now, the real men, all right? It's a lot tougher to guard receivers than it is in college against Florida Atlantic University or something like that. It's going to be a lot tougher to do so in the National Football League. And that's the only thing that really worries me, is that he gets that. It just seems as if the receivers get a little bit more separation. There was another route that, yes, he ended up getting the interception, but if that was an NFL quarterback throwing to an NFL receiver, it would have been completed. Basically, the corner or the receiver ran a little curl route towards the outside, or to the out-of-bounds side of the field, and the quarterback just made a terrible throw. I mean, he had to come back to the ball where Wiggins just all of a sudden shot and took it to the house for a pick six. But when I was watching it, as soon as the corner broke down and turned back towards the out-of-bounds to look back at the quarterback, Wiggins had about a 7-8 yard separation from that receiver. In the NFL, that can't happen. So he's going to get beat a couple times, especially in his rookie year and his second year. Those are things that you can clean up, the footwork and how you flip your hips and all that stuff. I wouldn't mind this pick at all. Like I said, defensive picks, a quarterback at number 11, offensive lineman at number 11, I would be okay with, as long as we stay away from the skill position. Running back, you can wait on. I think you can punt on running back because they're a dime a dozen. You can literally go out in free agency, sign somebody. You can draft somebody in the third round. He can turn out to be a dog. So if it's a defense player, quarterback, offensive line, I'm going to be okay. But Mel Kiper has Clemson cornerback Nate Wiggins heading to the Minnesota Vikings at pick number 11. You guys can let me know your thoughts about this down in the comment section below. Drop a like and subscribe to the channel. It'd be much, much appreciated. Have a great rest of the night, folks. And Skol Vikes.